I was watching a YouTube video about Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos comic series, and it prompted me to add a few more comics to my collection that I wanted to show off and then maybe look through one of them. So I had shown earlier that I have issue 10 and issue 17, and then I got this Epic Collection trade paperback, which has issues 20 through 36 and annuals 1 and 2. Well, I found out there is a first Epic Collection, which would cover issues 1 through 19, and there it's like $100 at the very least because it's out of print. So if it goes back into print, I'll get a copy, and these do go back into print, so fingers crossed. And I showed I had issues 24, 32, 33, 35, and 41. Now, I like finding these comics in the wild when I go to conventions and I look through the boxes of old comics. I like to find these because even though they're in terrible condition, they are complete, they're readable, and they're very, very cheap for being Marvel comics from the 60s. So this is fun. But because of that video, I really wanted to get a few more issues just right away off eBay for cheap. And so let me show you what I got. So I got this, issue 44. This tells the tale of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos' first mission. The story the world has been waiting for. Pretty cool, right? And I already had issue 45, 47, and 53. But now I've added issue 65. This guy here, Eric Koenig, is the first addition to the team that became a permanent member. And I got issue 67 because inside here it has these really cool, imaginatively colored pages without text. And just looked awesome. I needed to add it to my collection. And then I got issue 75. This is also a new Howling Commando, or Howler is what they were called, added to the team, but as soon as he was added, he deserted and he was executed. Very controversial issue. Followed by the very next issue, issue 76, which tells the tale of Nick Fury's father in World War I battling the Red Baron. Man, that's awesome. He's almost as cool as Snoopy. And then I got issue 100. You see, by issue 80, the series became mostly reprints, and there were very few new stories after that. But this is one of them. It is a present-day story. Now, this would be present day in the 1960s. But, you know, Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos was a World War II comic. So you can see him here as a James Bond-style super spy of the 60s, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the eye patch and all that. And then I also got this, annual number 3, or should I say king size special. The Epic Collection I showed you earlier had annuals 1 and 2. Annual 1 took place in the Korean War, the 1950s. Annual 2 took place on D-Day. And this is annual number 3, which takes place in Vietnam. And then I got this, king size special, issue 4. This takes place at the Battle of the Bulge. Awesome. So I got one last issue to show you, and that's this one. It is the last issue, issue 167. It came out in September of 1981, and it reprints issue number 1 from March of 1963. So let's take a look at this one. So the cover is the same as the original issue number 1, except of course you've got your banner for Spider-Man and his amazing friends, which is where I learned of Stan Lee, I believe, because he narrated these cartoon shows. The art is the same, and so is this word balloon, but this square here on issue 1 was tilted this way and had different text in it, and under the 7 Against the Nazis, it had a caption box that had some more words, but other than that, it's the same. And of course, it didn't have Spider-Man here. Written by Stan Lee, art by Jack Kirby. And here is Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. And like I said before, they are in World War II. And here they are training. This is Dum Dum Dugan. He is training the rest of the Howlers by shooting over their heads. They're face down in the mud. Fury comes out to say, lighten up a bit here. We got a mission to go on. And This is hilarious. He gets up. Oh, we were just beginning to enjoy the fun and games. He's completely covered in mud. You can't even see not just his face, but like a head or a torso. It's just a mud clump. And he's... God, I love that. Okay, so they're off on their mission. They have to go rescue this French guy. It's basically the story. It makes for a great story because it's a special team of operatives that have to go behind enemy lines and rescue somebody, you know, like a Saving Private Ryan type of thing. Except this is a guy with a secret that the Germans want. I should say the Nazis want. He has the date and location of D-Day, and the Nazis are trying to get it out of him. Sergeant Fury and the Howlers have to rescue him and save that information from der Führer. And you got lots of great action and a lot of dialogue. And joining them in the fight is the French resistance with this girl in the red beret. She helps them throughout. I believe, if I remember correctly or gathered the story correctly when I was reading it, is the daughter of the French guy that they are trying to save. Fury is injured in the battle, but he keeps fighting. He is basically shirtless at this point and being helped around because he should be out of commission, but nothing stops Nick Fury. One of the Howling Commandos has disguised himself as they call him the Übergruppenführer, and he turns the gun on all of the Nazis, sends them running, and they get in this great-looking vehicle, this all-terrain type of vehicle. I don't know if that's all-terrain. It doesn't have treads, but I still like it. And here is the French guy that they're needing to rescue. He's a prisoner, and on the phone is Hitler. Ta-da! There he is right there. In the first story, we get an appearance of the main evil man himself, Adolf Hitler. You got cool jungle action, all these great vehicles, shirtless Nick Fury covered in ammo, going against all the odds. And they are just blowing up buildings and shooting people and evading gunfire, crawling in with dynamite. It's exciting. Going against flamethrowers. The girl is going to sacrifice herself. She is in tears at the bravery of the American soldiers. We take a quick break for Peter Parker on a date with Lisa Skye, and he gets tossed right over the railing into the water so that these thugs can steal his girlfriend. Underwater, he changes into his Spider-Man costume, webs up some Hostess cupcakes, and that causes the thugs to happily chow down while in a barrel made of webs. Spider-Man dives back in the water, comes out as Peter Parker, and resumes his date with the mysterious Lisa Skye. Back to the action. An exploding building fell on Nick Fury, but it turns out he's safe inside the rubble. He climbs out and keeps going. Boy, Dum Dum is so happy he actually hugs the guy. But in the end, they win. They rescue the French guy, and they capture the Nazis. And then they fast forward real quick to them all having a reunion there on the actual D-Day of June 6, 1944. So with this story being written in, not written, but published in March of 1963, readers of the day thinking back to when D-Day actually happened would be like a reader of today thinking back to the year 2006. Neat little perspective on things. Little bit of trivia I read. One of the members here that is shown on D-Day actually does not survive and make it to this day. He is not really going to be here when the day comes, but that would be a story to be told after issue 1 and before the actual D-Day. And of course, September 81, that's when Empire Strikes Back came out. I actually got this model in 1994, and I never got a chance to put it together. It was destroyed, had to go in the trash. And so that was that. Some blazing battle action with Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. So I'll see you next time.